Hi there. So today we are going to be making kale chips, which is a really nice, delicious, easy snack to make. It cooks really quickly and we don't even need a cutting board or a knife. So I have already preheated my oven to 275 degrees. I have washed my hands. I have harvested some lovely kale and already washed it and then let it dry because we want it to be dry. So let's get right into it. So this is a few different kinds of kale right here. Look at that. And you really could use any kind for this. Any kind works. So we are going to grab one right out of here. And an easy technique to get the leaves off of the stem, which is what we want, is to hold the stem with one hand and then the other one will just pinch and kind of slide up. And it should kind of take off most of the tough part of the stem. All right, and then we'll just want to, I have a baking sheet right here, and we are just going to tear this up into whatever size you would like your chips to be in. I kind of like them about that big. And kale is so good for you. It's full of a lot of different nutrients. I eat it because, well, specifically because it has extra iron in it. It has more iron in it than beef does. And since I have low iron in my blood, I need to eat more greens so that my muscles and other parts of my body work correctly. All right. And then let's take a look at this piece of kale here. So it has a bunch of little munchies taken out of it. And because they're round, it really looks like this was a slug. You can see through it. And there is no reason why we cannot use this. It actually means that it is more nutrient dense, because when a plant gets kind of attacked, when it's nibbled on by something, it pushes forth more nutrients to try to keep taking care of itself. So I always still use leaves that I see that have little munchies taken out of them. Sometimes we have to do a little bit more work on getting the tough parts of the stems out. And just because I'm putting them off to the side does not mean that I won't use them. Usually I will chop them into really small bits and I can add them to a stir fry on top of salad. You can really add them to anything that you like to add veggies to. Kale is such a great food that grows around here throughout the winter. So we don't have to cover it, we don't have to worry about it, and it will just keep producing these beautiful, nutritious leaves for us without any special care. And if you don't pick your kale, then it will grow kale flowers. There will be like these little shoots coming out. And kale is related to broccoli. So these shoots that come out, they will look kind of like broccoli. And maybe you already know this, but broccoli, the part that we eat, it has, those are actually little flower buds. So if we don't pick those and let them grow, they'll grow and open up into little flowers that we can eat too. So when kale grows its flowers, those are also an edible one. And they're really good, really tasty. They taste a lot like broccoli. They're related. I think this one might be the last one that will fit on my baking sheet. I really want to do just enough so that the chips will be able to be in an even layer, just one layer. So not kale on top of other kale. So it gets nice and crispy. All right. So I'm going to add, I have a little olive oil here. Just going to drizzle that all over there, about 1 tablespoon. All right, and then I'm going to go ahead and massage these together. And I don't want to squish them too hard, but it's really just a little massage. I kind of think about a kitten or a cat, just kind of like, you know, that little pawing thing they do, kneading. And the goal is to get the kale so it's all covered with oil. If you see any little dry spots, then you want to do a little bit more massaging. Gentle squish. All right, that looks pretty good. Oh, I missed one. A little bit more. Okay, now I am going to spread them out in that even layer I was talking about, or single layer. So, playing a little Tetris here. And because they really shrink up to almost nothing, you want to fit as many on here as you can. All right, I have a little towel here. I'm gonna wipe the oil off my hands so I can add the salt. Can't forget the salt. All right, I'm just gonna do a couple little pinches. And then you can add whatever you like to this. Pretty much any powdered herb would work, paprika, garlic, pepper, you name it. I'm going to add a little bit of nutritional yeast. If you haven't had it before, it has kind of a cheesy flavor, but it's a powder. So I'm going to sprinkle that all over the place, and it's going to stick beautifully to that oily kale. Yum. All right, so now we are going to cook these, bake them for 15 minutes, and halfway through, I'm going to take them out and I'm going to flip them over one by one. So I'll see you back here in 15 minutes. So here we have it. Look at all those beautiful kale chips. And it looks like some of them got a little bit darker than others. There's some brown colors in here and some green ones, but for the most part, I think that they crisped up pretty well. Let's try this one right here. Ooh, yes. It tastes really good with the nutritional yeast. I have a whole bunch more kale here to make like 1 or 2 more batches. So if you have more kale, you can always make a different flavor. You can mix them up. Possibilities are endless here. But the nutritional yeast tastes so good. So if you have some, make sure to try it that way. All right, so we'll see you next time. Thanks so much for hanging out with me while we make kale chips together. Bye.